I like horror movies. You like horror movies? You just came to the right channel. Hey, welcome to Dominic's Flicks, where I show you my Blu-ray collection of classic horror films. Tonight I thought we'd look at 88 Films, Synapse Films, Blue Underground, and more. Nothing mainstream.
Always make you scream.
Let's take a look at 88 Films now. Okay, the first movie is 1974's British masterpiece, The Perfume of the Lady in Black. Next we have from the Italian collection, Zombie Holocaust. Next we have 1980's Green Inferno. Next we have 1988's Ghost Town. Next we have the Hong Kong horror 1976's Black Magic 2. Okay, next from the Asia collection, we got the 1981 Bewitched. Next we have the provocative 1972 Pigs. Okay, next we have the Italian version of The Karate Kid, Karate Warrior. This is with the slipcover artwork. Karate Warrior. Also with the slipcover we have Christmas Evil. Next we have with the limited edition slipcase, 1976's Dogs. Next we have 1973's Pets. Let's take a look at Synapse Films. Okay, first we have 42nd Street Forever, which is actually a collection of grindhouse movie trailers. Okay, next we have Countess Dracula, 1971 Hammer film, starring the beautiful Ingrid Pitt. 2014's The Creeping Terror. Next we have one of my favorites, 1985's Demons. Zombie movie, Italian horror. And the sequel, Demons 2, 1986. Next we have the unrated director's cut of The Exterminator from 1980. Next we have 1971 Hands of the Ripper, another Hammer film. Next we have 1978's Long Weekend. 1966's Manos, The Hands of Fate. 1980's Prom Night. And the 1971 Twins of Evil. And last by synopsis we have Dario Argento's Suspiria. Another label that might be familiar to you collectors is Blue Underground. Okay, first we got a double feature by Blue Underground. We got the 1966 Circus of Fear and the 1967 The Golden Dragon. Death Dream. Great cover art on that one. 1974's The Living Dead in Manchester Morgue. Okay, next we have 1983's The Lift, an Italian horror about an elevator that kills people. This was remade in the US under the name Down, starring Naomi Watts. The Lift. Okay, next we have The New York Ripper. This is with the exclusive 3D slipcover artwork. Still sealed. Okay, next we have Lucio Fulci's 1979 classic Zombie. That's also with the 3D exclusive slipcover artwork. Zombie. Okay, the next bunch of classic horror movies I'm going to show you are on a miscellaneous bunch of distributors such as Warner Brothers, Universal, Olive Films, and more. Let's take a look at these horror classics. Okay, first we're going to start with a couple Hammer Films double features, distributed by Columbia. First we got The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll from 1960, and next we have The Gorgon from 1964. Next we have 1958's The Revenge of Frankenstein, and 1964's The Curse of the Mummy Tomb. Okay, 1960's Never Take Candy from a Stranger, and 1961's Scream of Fear. And last on the Hammer Films double feature, we have Die Die My Darling from 1965, and The Maniac from 1961. Okay, next we have 1966's The Witches, starring Joan Fontaine. 1974's Voodoo Black Exorcist. The Vampire Lovers. 1981, The Sword and the Claw. Directed by Wes Craven, this is Summer of Fear, starring Linda Blair. 1974, Sugar Hill, starring Pam Grier. This one is 1990's Sergeant Kabukaman. 1988, Rabid Grannies. 1967's Quartermass and the Pit. Next we have 1968's Project X. Okay, 1973's Phase 4 by Saul Bass. 1940, 1 million BC. 1971's The Omega Man, starring Charleston Heston. Okay, next we have the classic 1932 The Old Dark House, starring Boris Karloff. 1959's The Mummy. 1994's Mommy, starring Patty McCormick. 1976, The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane, starring Jodie Foster and Martin Sheen. Okay, next we have a collector's edition of Laser Blast, starring the great Roddy McDowall. 1985's Land of Doom. And here we got a classic Hammer film, 1962's The Kiss of the Vampire. 1979's Killer Fish, starring Lee Majors. Classic Hammer film, 1969's Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, starring Peter Cushing. The classic 1958, The Fly. 1962's First Men in the Moon. Another classic Hammer film, 1964's The Evil of Frankenstein, starring Peter Cushing. Okay, next we have one of my favorites, Deathbed. This is 1970's The Bed That Eats You. Next we have Jack Palance, starring in Dracula. Hammer classic 1961, The Curse of the Werewolf. One of the greatest, 1982's Creepshow, directed by George Romano, written by Stephen King, special effects by Tom Savini. 1970's Count Yorga, Vampire. 1963, Comedy of Terrors. So Region B. 1960s, The City of the Dead. Steelbook edition of Stephen King's Cat's Eye. 1960s, The Brides of Dracula, classic Hammer horror. Next we have 1960s Black Sunday, Italian horror. This is actually on the label Kino Lorber, so this needs to go into my Kino Lorber collection. 2014's The Babadook. The director of Babadook also directed The Nightingale, another favorite of mine. Director Jennifer Kent. Aliens, classic. 1988's The Unnameable with limited slipcover. 2015's The Curse of Dr. Wolfenstein, slipcover in that. Italian horror, 1972's Sacrifice. One of my favorites, 1983, Pieces, 3-disc deluxe edition. Next we have The Church with limited edition slipcover and poster. 2001's Shredder. 1989's Weirdo, The Beginning. Next we have 1971's I Drink Your Blood. 1988's Monstrosity. One of my favorites, Tetsu, the Iron Man. And what's a horror collection without all the Friday the 13th? Next we have the 1966 Hammer classic Frankenstein Created Woman with Peter Cushing. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in to Dominic's Flicks and checking out my Blu-rays. Check out my other videos. I'll be adding new Blu-rays to my collection every week, maybe even every day, and I'll unbox them, unpackage them right here on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and keep collecting. I'll see you later.